there were three reasons for that can explain Sarkozy's decision. The first idea is to fully participate in order to get an influence on decisions that is fully commensurate with French efforts. The second one is comparable to what Mitterrand and Chirac had pursued, is to increase the role of Europeans inside NATO. According to press reports, France will get two major commands, the one in Norfolk, the Allied Command Transformation, and the Joint Command in the Joint Command Lisbon, which, by the way, oversees the NATO response force, and maybe a few other positions that we don't know of yet. And so in the end, France will send a bit more than 800 extra officers into the structure. The third objective, the third rationale, is to send a strong, and probably the most important one, is to send a strong signal to allies that European security policy, known as by its acronym ESDP, which France has been actively promoting for the past decade, is not a competitor to NATO, but should be seen as a complement to it. So what will be the consequences, the implications for NATO in general? Well, the first thing is that France will have a slightly greater influence inside NATO, which may slightly reinforce its weight on issues that are currently debated and that Dan mentioned. For example, the nature of the alliance, and of course the question of the strategic concept, which Paris sees as a military organization centered on Europe and on security challenges to European security, including out-of-area challenges. Another example of such debates is enlargement, which Paris sees as necessitating a very cautious approach, as Article 5 remains the cornerstone of the alliance and should not be extended lightly. I see two other implications, two other positive developments for NATO. The first one is a push for a streamlining of NATO, an objective that is pursued in particular by the UK and by France, and which Paris will be in a better position to promote. Current NATO structures are bloated and way too bureaucratic, and they need to be reformed. Second positive development, and probably the most important one, would be a relaxing of the sort of theological debates about which institution, the EU or NATO, should come first. Sarkozy's move by sacrificing a sacred cow for French policy decreases suspicions and makes it easier to be pragmatic and use the institution or the arrangement between institutions which has the best added value in one specific situation. From the French perspective, it's now up to the allies, including the UK and other countries, to abandon their own sacred cows about ESDP and join Barack Obama in a press release dated March 21st in, I quote, welcoming the further strengthening of European defense capabilities, or to join General James Jones in stating just last week that a strong and independent Europe is good for a strong and independent alliance.